Now, one type of unit composition that I rarely see in history is the mounted ballista. When I say ballista, I mean any ranged weapon that can shoot a very heavy projectile at a reasonable speed to penetrate shields and some armor. For example, the Roman scorpions or the Chinese heavy crossbows, but now mounted on top of a horse. So this type of weapon needs to be still light enough that the horse can retreat to skirmish with. So it can't be a very heavy version where the horse is going to suffer in speed. So that kind of unit composition is quite rare. Now, I have seen like elephant ballistas, for example, from the Khmers, for example. The Romans had carts with scorpions, but I'm focusing specifically on the cavalry version because I think that's an easier way to mass produce. Now, these would be very slow reloading, but theoretically speaking, against enemies with heavy shields, medium armor that's standing in place trying to defend the spot, as long as you have days to skirmish the enemy, or hours, at least a day to skirmish, I think that would be quite effective and might be even better than horse archers in theory. Now, we do need to assume in this vacuum case that the enemy doesn't shoot back at you and the armor is heavy enough that they can't chase you on foot. Why don't we see this composition in history much? I mean, for one, the Roman scorpion, they have very heavy beams, and if you mount it on just for one horse, it would be very heavy, or you need a very light one, and by then you're better off probably just with a heavy bow instead, because there's this sweet spot for the scorpion in terms of its weight and its kinetic energy output. I think that's for the Romans, but more importantly for the Romans, if they just want to fight other infantry, just use your infantry, which is typically better. The Romans were very famous at using heavy infantry, so they don't need this in the first place. Now, for Persians, for example, they have heavy cavalry that they would rely on against these infantry and charge these heavy cavalry in melee. That's what they were really good at. Or they would use horse archers first to soften it. Now, the Chinese did use mounted crossbows, and some from the diagrams do seem to be quite heavy, so they could have used them. I just think it really comes down to cost, and also nomadic cultures, they don't have the industry to mass produce ballistas for crossbows, nor can they do that for campaigns.